I'll try to be brief with my remarks because what we really want to do today is take a look at the projects themselves, right? But I want to pick up on Paul's theme here and actually focus just a couple of comments around change. But on Paul's theme, as he talked about how administrative excellence is connected to educational innovation and think about the breadth of strategic initiative we're engaged in, this I think is a really, really important centerpiece for a lot of those efforts. But I also want to think about this project in terms of how it's evolved and changed over time. And I think about process improvement and how it's evolved over time. This is a really important day for me, as it is for many others, to see how things have really evolved. I think back to, and I just think about my own career here. And I came here, I saw lots and lots of projects, primarily being sponsored through our Office of Quality Improvement. Oftentimes these were local projects, a department or a unit that want to improve some aspect of their operation. And folks did a tremendous job with those efforts. We all recall we ramped up something called administrative process redesign a few years ago, where the proposition was, can we work together across organizational boundaries around common processes that sometimes confound us and frustrate us, situations where we all knew there was a better way to do things, but we needed a way to come together. We needed a common methodology, a common language to engage in those endeavors. And certainly over time, we've had great success, I think, with those projects. With administrative excellence, of course, there's an opportunity to take process improvement, if you will, to yet another level where the projects we're taking on are larger, they're more complex, which means that the implication and the benefits can be that much greater. As Paul's talked about, Huron has been a strategic partner of ours in helping us with administrative excellence, bringing expertise, benchmarking data and other resources to the table to really help us explore these very large enterprise level opportunities. If we think about the phases of the projects we're taking on, right now what we're talking about are projects that are moving into phase 3, in essence. So in phase 1 of these first 7 opportunities really was kind of Huron space, where they kind of brought some ideas to the table and working with us, where they identified, as we know, over 70 different potential opportunities across the campus. Phase 2, for those first 7 projects we're just coming down the home stretch on, where we've had teams take a deep dive and really take the time to explore in depth how to move those ideas into reality. And I really want to applaud the efforts of the teams and the time people have taken to really get us to the point where we can present those ideas to you today. As Alice and I, as mentioned, Paul and I represent 2/3 of the steering team. The Chancellor, of course, is that 3rd member. And we have given those teams permission to move those ideas into implementation. And so what I really want to focus a couple thoughts on is in terms of what the implication of that is. We all know about the many, many great plans we have across this campus that oftentimes sit on a computer or sit on the old bookshelf, right? That's not what this is about. This is about engaging the community around broad-scale change. Change that oftentimes is difficult. But the point I want to make before Alice offers a couple thoughts and you folks move into the sessions where you can take a look at the recommendations from the different project teams. We're at a juncture right now that's really hard for us, because we're at the point in time now where things are becoming real, right? This is the hard part for our campus. We're all used to being decision makers and deciding with local discretion whether to move forward with an idea or not. That's not what administrative excellence is about. We can only be successful with these projects, if we all move together in concert, recognizing that oftentimes there's a little bit of give at the local level in terms of what an ideal and optimal and perfect solution might be, to one that really reflects the needs of the institution more broadly. Think about developing an IT solution. We can all develop a local customized one, but if you're going to share the technology with other units, there's a little bit of negotiation, a little bit of commonness that has to be part of that. And that's, in some respects, how we find ourselves with this project. Change, as we all know, is hard. Sometimes it's because it's change. Sometimes because it invades our workspace, the way we typically are accustomed to doing things. Sometimes because I didn't personally get to propose the change myself. I didn't get to touch the process in a way that I would like to. And oftentimes those become real challenges for us to overcome. I think the Chancellor said it the best in a most straightforward manner. No change is not an option. No change is not an option. I will tell you the kinds of ideas you see here and the ones that we'll be bringing forward in the coming months are significant issues and opportunities for our campus. I will tell you very directly that there's nothing you're going to see in here today or in some of the other projects we're going to bring forward over the next number of months that other institutions haven't already done. What we're talking about here is not groundbreaking, cutting-edge kinds of change, but it's reflective of where our culture has been, where we've moved from a very highly decentralized culture to one where we're kind of saying there are some things we need to do a little more in common, a little more together. Other universities have figured that out a little quicker than we have. So I'd argue that what we're doing, to some extent, is catching up with where peers have been for some time. The kinds of savings you're going to see here are not going to result in people being laid off. No one's going to lose their job as a result of this. There are some cost savings that can help us as we look either to future budget cuts or needs of the institution that we need to reallocate resources to satisfy. I'll tell you, a lot of the savings, as you look at these, is really around savings in staff time. And so it's critically important for us to really think about what we're going to do with that freed up time. How do we don't want to waste that freed up time. And so, given that some of our processes are so distributed, the savings are in very, very small increments all across the campus. How do we get our arms around those kinds of savings and to reallocate that time and effort to things that matter? We don't want to miss that opportunity because for a number of these projects, that's where the real efficiency is occurring. So we don't want to miss that opportunity. So I urge you to listen and to ask questions about the project you're going to see today, to honor the work that your colleagues have put into this effort. Again, we're not asking you whether these are ideas we want to move forward. We're asking you for your thoughts about how best to move these ideas forward. That's the question that's in front of you today here. So I want to just close by thanking you for being here. I look forward, as Alice and Paul and others do, to your input today to help us refine our ideas and to help us move these ideas into implementation. So with that, thanks for being here.